Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stephen Williams, founder and president of the CreditRepairShop.com. And in this video, I'm going to talk about uh, collection. Collection agencies are alive and well. They're still coming after people. I thought that there would be a pause, but from clients, we are getting reports that they are mailing them letters for collection. And I think that what they're thinking is that everybody is in a pause. They're not going to be really thinking about the collection letter. They're going to be more thinking about their personal situation. So they're taking advantage of the situation. If you get a letter from a collection agency, you must first look at your credit reports to see when the original charge-off date from the original creditor that collection agency got the debt from, to see if it's even valid for them to come after you. Now, what do I mean by if it's valid to come after you? That means that you need to check the statute of limitations. From the original charge-off date, it doesn't matter when they're trying to contact you. What matters is the original charge-off date. How do you find the original charge-off date? You look on your credit reports in the comment section or somewhere in your reports, depending on which bureau you get them from. And if I invite you to get it from the company that I work with, you can go to your3scores.com. That's link is below this video. Look at that particular original debt, and then look at the original charge-off date, the last active date of service, and then go and look at the statute of limitations for contract law or debt in your state. It'll usually say contract, or it might say written. You can go to my website to check that out also, thecreditrepairshop.com, on my blog, and you just search statute of limitations, and then that page will pop up. When you learn first if it's legal for them to collect it. If it is not legal because it's past the statute of limitations, then you just simply write them a letter back stating that you want them to cease all collection activities. Well, this is the way you would say it. Sorry that I'm getting a little mixed up. You would put who it's from, the collection agency, and then you should say that you received this letter, that they're trying to come after you for this debt. You, according to the laws in your state, that it is this debt is past statute of limitations, and that I'm getting all mixed up, but that is past statute of limitations for them to legally collect on it, and that you want them to cease all collection activities, or you'll be reporting them to the proper authorities in your state. Proper authorities in your state is Department of Financial Institution, or anyone who is in charge of regulating debt collection companies or banking. Banking is under the same as debt collection, and your state attorney general's office. So you would get that information to them if they did not stop it. The way that we've always done it is we still would copy, which is putting a CC on that letter that you sent to the collection agency, and then notifying them that you will notify the state attorney general's office. 10 times out of 10, if they're a reputable collection agency that don't want to lose all of their license to collect in your state, they will stop. Now, if it's not past statute of limitations, then the next step you need to take is to do a debt validation. This is where you ask for everything pertaining to that debt. Just because they purchased it from another, the original creditor, you need to figure out if it's been assigned, or they purchased it, or they have been contracted from another debt collection company to collect the debt. So you want to when you do your debt validation, you're validating the relationship between you and them. You're validating all of the charges that they're claiming. You're validating, you want signatures, you want the original contract, everything pertaining to you owing that debt. They must provide that. If they don't provide it, then they're going to go away. And usually they'll send a letter stating that they're going to cease all collection activities. You need to hold that letter, because what they'll do is they'll repackage that back with other ones that responded or other debts that they were not able to collect, and sell it to another collection agency, or give it back to the collection agency that assigned them to try to collect it. And then that collection agency will get it over to someone else, and you have to go through the whole process again. But you can stop all of the paperwork hassle with the process when someone else comes after you, because all you have to do is show that letter, and that will put them on notice that that debt collector that gave that to this other debt collector is actually breaking the law, because they know that this is an uncollectible debt. Now, if it gets to where it is validated and they take you to court, I always tell people you should try to settle that debt at the lowest amount possible. If it gets to that point, if they prove everything. This usually happens when there's a debt that's probably 1, 2, 3 years old, not past statute of limitations for most states, and they're going to have all of the paperwork, and usually the original creditor hires a collection agency. They don't sell it to them. So you could find yourself in a situation where you have to settle the debt. It's better to go ahead and settle it before they even get it on your credit reports, because you don't want to have the hassle of getting it off your reports and have your score go down and then working to get them back up. So that's the process that you would go through before they would get you in court, to where you would be going back and forth with them to see if this could be a potential judgment. So that ends it for that there. You'd be surprised how many people still come to me with that question. So I need to make sure that I put it in videos as much as possible, because people are just becoming aware of the channel at different times. And please like my videos. I've been forgetting to tell people to like it. I know I've been putting it in the writing up top, but please like my videos. It's very important for the algorithm here on YouTube. Now, let's talk a little bit about the mindset, because people are still, all of us are going through this crazy thing with this virus, and it puts people in a weird situation. But I think that this is a time that everyone can learn that you have full control of your thoughts, you have full control of your mind, you have full control of your outcomes. But you must take control, you must take charge. You must not allow news companies, people, even things that I tell you, you should always just double check them for yourself. And, so you know that you're in charge of your thoughts, not that people are just putting thoughts in and you're just letting them just materialize inside of you, and making them make you see what they wanted you to see rather than what you want to see. And but that's the way that things are happening right now. You see a lot of people that are getting very afraid of getting the virus or dying from the virus, all types of things. And you have to understand that everyone gets sick at some time or another. Some people get sicker, some people don't get sick. And I'm not just talking about the virus, I'm talking about with everything. And not to say that if someone gets the virus that it's not something that tries to attack their system, but that happens with a lot of other things that are out there too. With this virus, one of the things that I believe, and this is only my personal opinion, is that if you get this virus, you should do your best to make sure that you keep your body working. There's something that my wife and I have always done, and we've told other people about it, but they would say, well, I just couldn't do that. And there's a rule that both of us have, that when we get sick, that number one, we don't lay in the bed. We don't lay in the bed. We get up and move around. And we actually get on a treadmill and walk and sweat out. because we've always believed, number one, the endorphins that's produced when you are working out makes you feel better, makes you feel stronger, pushes stuff out of your system, and it makes your body circulate and work. You want to keep your blood circulating, you want to keep your respiratory system circulating. That's why when people get a bad congestion and the doctor gives you a certain medicine to take, they want you to cough out stuff. Well, when you are on a treadmill, and this is only personal, I don't want somebody to try to do something that they can't do, but we get on, when I was always on a treadmill and I was feeling sick, had the flu or a bad cold or fever, and I sweated out on that treadmill, I always felt better. There was probably about 6-7 years ago, maybe even longer than that, I never would get the flu shot. Me and my wife would never get the flu shot, and then we had got so sick that year that it was like 35 days. We were both just off and on, just a long flu. And but we kept exercising and working our way through it, and we had finally got over it. And after that, we started getting flu shots, and we didn't never get sick, nothing like that for years. And then last year, we caught the coronavirus, but it was a different strain. It wasn't this one. But I believe that the symptoms that we had was similar to what people are going through. My wife had the fever, and she also had extreme her heart rate was high. She was at 150. We were just talking about this the other day. She was sitting sitting in a chair, and her heart rate was at 150. Can you imagine? 150, some people can't even get to 150 because they'll quit running. That's when you're like at a full sprint, and most people can't even get to 150 because they will stop running unless you're in very good shape. You'll just have to stop. She was sitting in a chair. We had just gotten back from a vacation in Florida, and she called me into the room, and she said, and she always keeps that meter with her for her heart rate, and she was at 150. We called her nurse. They said, immediately get to the hospital. I was already feeling real sick, and I had most of it right here, where when I would cough, it was burning and it felt like something was gripping around my heart. So I can see why a person would not want to even cough, would not even want to try, because it was very tough. They put my wife in the hospital, got her stabilized. They had to do a lot of stuff to keep her stable. I'm talking about a lot, because the problem that they had is that they didn't want to have her go into cardiac arrest, but they also had to take care of her lungs because she has limited breathing capacity because she's on oxygen. And so they were stabilizing her, and then I would come home and I would just like cough real bad. And I would even try to explain it to my doctor, and he was like, you have what she has. And but they didn't make a big deal about corona, but they did, when I say not a big deal, the doctors and the nurses, when they all came in, they had masks, they had gloves, everything. But when it was me and the family coming in to see her, they didn't tell us to do all of that stuff, which was kind of weird because we could have been passing it to other people. The whole event took, for my wife, she was in the hospital for a little over a week, got out, and she slowly started getting her strength back. She does have to have a ventilator machine, but it's called a non-invasive ventilator machine that she sleeps with at night. And then for me, I had just recovered. Like at some point, you know how it is when you're feeling sick. It's like at some point you just recover, but it wasn't feeling good. Like it was a very harsh virus to get over. And that's what they did tell us, is that it's a virus. There's nothing that they can do, but you just treat you, and you just gotta get out, get over it. But again, what I did is I came down on a treadmill. I would run. Well, I didn't really run. I would just walk for 10 minutes, walk for 20 minutes, make sure that I got into a sweat, you know, did a few exercises on the floor or whatever, but just to make sure that I kept moving. And eventually I got over it. So I encourage anyone that is going through any type of flu, or where you have a bad cold, if you can move around. It's very important. I know that it makes you want to not move. It makes you want to just lay there, but it's better to move. Trust me, it's better to move. All right, I'm going to end the video here. If you need help with your credit, please go to the website, thecreditrepairshop.com. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the3scores.com. I'll put those here on the video also. Please like the video. Please subscribe. Please share and tell other people about it. Please stay safe. Please stay in control of your thinking. Please understand that we will get through all of this. And until next time, this is Stephen Williams, founder and president of thecreditrepairshop.com. Thank you.